Hello, algebra students. Mr. Laurence here, and we're going to learn a new form of a linear equation called standard form. And standard form looks like this: ax plus by equals c. Now, x and y are my variables, and a and b are my coefficients. The coefficients on x and y, coefficients. I like to say coefficients. I don't know if I know how to spell it, but I before E except after C. I think I got that wrong. Oh dear. Coefficients. And C is a constant. It's a constant. And you notice that C is by itself. A and X are on the same side of the equation. And C is all by its lonesome. Oh, by the way, to be in standard form, also A must be positive. A must be greater than 0. Right? Okay, that's standard form. Now, if you have an equation in standard form, it's pretty easy to graph. Now, hopefully, by now, many of you, like when you have to graph y equals 2/3 x minus 6, you're not making a table. I mean, Colton was trying to say, well, I like to show work, and other teachers like, well, you know what? This is Mr. Laurence, man. Come on, I wouldn't steer you wrong. It's not about showing work. It's about understanding that when an equation is written in this form, this slope-intercept form, we know the y-intercept, 0, -6. And I plotted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then my slope is my rise over my run, right? I've said that many times, rise over run. And so this one with the rise will be +2, and the run will be +3. So I'm going to run 2, and rise 2, excuse me, and then run 1, 2, 3. Rise 2, run 3. Or if I wanted to, I could use a slope of -2 over -3, because that would be the same, right? Right? Two negatives dividing by each other would cancel out to positives. So I could go back 2 and write 1, 2, 3. And look at that. I'm going to end up on the same line. Down 2, back 1, 2, 3. And so I could draw my line. Yeah. Lay it on me, baby. Draw that line. There we go. All right. Let's see here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I think it's off a little bit. Let me make it a little bit thinner. Needs to lose a little weight. Come on, line, lose a little weight. Oh, there we go. Let's change the color. Oh, red. Oh, I like the blue, I think. And we need an arrowhead. It needs to start with an arrowhead. So let's see if I can get this better. Ooh, I like that going right through that point. Ooh, that's looking pretty. All right. And if you check my slope at any point, it's rise 2 and run 3. Wait a minute, Mr. Laurence, that's not rise 2, run 3, that's rise 4, run 6. Why, it is, you silly fool, but it's 4, 6, which simplifies to 2/3. So any 2 points you pick, you'll go rise 2, run 3. Let's do it from here. It'll be harder to estimate, but look, it's a little bit up. Let's go up 1, 2, and then over 1, 2, 3, and look at that. I'm on the line. The same distance from that horizontal there that I am right there. Notice they're the same distance. Okay, so the slope is 2/3. You don't make a table for these. Now, for these, I'm not going to make a table either. I'm not going to go, I could convert it to slope-intercept form, but that's a lot of work. I think I would rather find my intercepts. I'm going to find the x-intercept. And I'm going to find the y-intercept. And we talked about this in class on Wednesday, I think, real briefly. The x-intercept has to be some number and then 0, right? And the y-intercept has to be 0 and then some y-coordinate. So I'm going to plug 0 in for y. And I'm going to get 2x plus 3 times 0 equals 6. Well, that's just 0. So x is going to be 3. So the x-intercept occurs at 3, 0. And I can plot that. 1, 2, 3, right there. There's my x-intercept. Now my y-intercept is done very similarly, except I will put 0 in for x. So I'm going to do 2 times 0 plus 3y, and that's going to equal 6. That cancels to 0. Going to divide by 3, going to divide by 3, and then y is going to equal 2. So 0, 1, 2. So my x-intercept is, my y-intercept, excuse me, is 0, 2, and my x-intercept is 3, 0. Now I could draw my line, but like Lainey Thompson says, I like to get a couple extra points. I'm going to check out my slope here. It looks like I'm going down 2, right 3. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, and right 1, 2, 3. Down 2, right 1, 2, 3. I could also go up 2 and back 3. 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay. Hey, what does that mean my slope is? What does that mean my slope is? What is my slope? My slope, my slope, my slope, my slope. Hold on, I gotta go on a diet here. Yeah, Mr. Lawrence does need a diet. That is the truth. Oop, I think I forgot to put a head on that, an arrowhead. Did I? No, I did. Okay, very good. All right, so there it is. Hey, what's my slope? My slope was going to be, what, negative 2/3. Hey, look at that. There's a 2 there and a 3 there. Only it's negative. That's interesting. I wonder if that'll mean anything. Let's see. You know, Mr. Lawrence always has an agenda. Let's go find the x-intercept. X-intercept. So for the x-intercept, I'm going to plug 0 in for y. So I'm going to get 4x minus 6 times 0. Well, that's just 0, so I'll ignore it. It's 12. I'm going to divide by 4. I'm going to divide by 4. And x is going to equal 3. So my x-intercept is 3, 0. All right, 1, 2, 3. It won't always be 3, 0. That's just what it happened to be. All right, my y-intercept, the place where the line will cross the y-axis, I will plug 0 in for x. So I'm going to get 4 times 0. Well, that's just plain old 0. Minus 6y equals 12. And when I solve that for y, I'm going to get y equals negative 2. I'm going to get 0, negative 2. All right there. So if I like to get my other points using my slopes, I will stop freaking moving. Sorry, I'm yelling at the smartboard because I was scrolling. Up 2, like up 2, and then right 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Back 2, down 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Do-do-do. All right, here we go. Down 2, back 1, 2, 3. There we go, and I need a skinny line. I don't want any overweight lines. I need to be skinny, I need to be healthy. I need to take care of myself. All right, need an arrowhead on that end. And there we go. All right, that's it. Hey, what's the slope? The slope in this one was m equals 2/3. Oh, darn, I have a 4 and a 6. I have a 4 and a 6. Wait a minute. 4 and over negative 6. Should be negative 2/3. So my slope looks like it's here, but it's like a sign change. Yeah, what you should be discovering, what you should be noticing is that when you're in standard form, ax plus by equals c, there's some shortcuts. One is the slope is the negative of a over b. The negative of a over b. So if I have 5x plus 6y equals, I don't know, 18. The slope of this line, a, b, c. Easy as 5, 6, 18. The slope of this line is the negative of a over b, negative 5/6. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's that simple. I can tell the slope just by looking at the equation if it's in standard form. All right, now the x-intercept, I need y to be 0, right? Well, if this is 0, don't I divide? Here, let me cover it up. Oh, cover you up. Okay. Let me fill him in. Properties, fill, solid. We'll make it white. Line style, white. There we go. Wouldn't I get x alone by dividing c by a? The x-intercept is going to end up being c over a, 0. Right? You see that? I'll divide by a, I'll have c, the x-coordinate will be c divided by a, if I'm in standard form. Now the y-intercept is when x is 0, so it's going to be 0 something. Well, let's see what would happen. This would be covering that up, right? Because that would turn to 0, the ax term. Well, to get y alone, I would divide c by b, wouldn't I? So it's going to be c divided by b. So if I'm in standard form, I can tell the x-intercept and the y-intercept just by using these little shortcut formulas. So let's take it over here and see. What is the x-intercept? Well, the x-intercept is going to be 18/5, 0. I took C and I divided it by A. Now, if you want, it might make more sense to graph to go 3 3/5, right? I just converted it to a mixed number. Okay, the y-intercept. The y-intercept is going to be 0, but I have to do C divided by B. So 18 divided by 6 will be 3. And there you go. Now, it would be easiest to graph this and this, probably. I don't need all three to graph. Oop, I'm sorry. This one and the slope. I don't need all three to graph. I've got the slope, I've got the x-intercept, and I've got the y-intercept. I only need 2 of those 3 to graph, so I'll use the 2 that work out the best. So let's try those shortcuts on problem number 3. Where are you, problem 3? All right, first of all, am I in standard form? I sure am. AX, BY equals C. So, A, B, C. Easy as 5, -2, 4. All right, let's go find the slope first of all. The slope is going to be the negative of A over B, which is better said as 5/2. Now, the x-intercept's kind of ugly. I don't think I'm going to find the x-intercept because I'm going to divide 4 by 5, and I'm going to get a fraction, and it's harder to graph 4/5. So I'm going to go looking for the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is going to happen at 0, and then I'm going to do C divided by B, and C divided by B would be 4/2, which is better set as 0, -2. So to graph this, I'm going to plot 0, -2. You can stop moving now, thank you. And then I'm going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and run 1, 2. I'm going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, run 1, 2. I'm going to rise down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back 2. And there you go. There you go. So, there it is. All right. Properties. And let me change the color. There we are. There it is. Piece of cake. In standard form, I can find the slope, the y-intercept, and x-intercept pretty easily, and then I will go ahead and use 2 of the 3 and create my graph. Now on this one here, let's see. Let's go ahead and find the slope first of all. Oh, it's not in standard form. Why not? Because A is not positive. So I'm going to either multiply or divide all 3 terms by -1, and that will cause A to be positive. So this equation will turn into 3x minus 5y, and that will equal -6. All right, now I can go find ABC. ABC, easy as 3, -5, -6. And so the slope is going to be the negative of A over B, which is better said as 3/5. Okay, now looking ahead, which would be easier to do, C divided by A or C divided by B? Well, C divided by A, which would be the x-intercept. So I'm going to find the x-intercept, and I will do -6/3, 0, which simplified would be -2, 0. So I'm going to go to the negative x-intercept of -2, 0 right there. And then I'm going to use a slope of 3/5. So I'm going to rise 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I want, I could go down 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there you go. All right, so let's see here. There's my line. Got to send it on a diet. Don't eat so many donuts in the teacher's line, Mr. Line. It will be healthier. There we go. We need you to go forever. And that's it. Bam. Pretty easy stuff. No video quiz tonight, but remember, we learned our shortcut formulas. To find the slope, you take the negative of A over B, right? The x-intercept is found by doing C divided by B. Oh, no, 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 no. C divided by A, 0. And the y-intercept can be found by doing 0 C over B. Right? That's when we're in standard form. Standard form looks like this, of a linear equation. And A must be greater than 0. All right, that's it for the video. Mr. Laurence signing off. Have a good night, everybody.